Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Lisa Lashendro. I am one of the annuity marketing directors here at Insurance Agency Marketing Services. And joining me today is Rob Markovich. He is the founder and president of the vendor that we utilize for our preset appointments. He's taken the time with us today to kind of go over, take a deep dive into these virtual preset appointments and see if you guys have any questions, hopefully answer those. And then with that, Rob, let's get started.
Absolutely. Hello, everybody. Great to have you here today. And, talking about a little bit about our appointment setting system and what it's all about. Number one, we've of course partnered up with IAMS. We've been doing business, I think now almost 2 years now, Lisa, maybe a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. And it's been a great relationship. The nice thing about IAMS, giving you a lot of support and as that goes along. But, a little bit more about the appointments, what we do and what's going on in the world now, as we know with the crisis going on, the pandemic, it's kind of changed business a little bit. And it's forced us to change our ways. And I think in the financial services industry, insurance industry, it's progressed the business ahead 4 or 5 years. I've seen some requests from our clients and your potential clients, you as an agent, of changes in the industry and kind of a continual ask for more virtual stuff. So some of you guys are going to have a little bit more of an issue, maybe, hey, or had a little bit more of a challenge to be able to get to that next level and go, hey, how do I do a virtual type appointment? Like I said, with the support of IAMS, and Lisa will go over some of that stuff as well further on in this little podcast here, video for you guys. But there's a lot of opportunity there, and what we're seeing across the board, a lot of the agents are doing extremely well. I know a lot of the agents inside IAMS are doing very, very well with our appointment setting system. And, like I said, it's a virtual thing now. One thing really quick, just so you guys know, is, pre-COVID, when we were setting appointments, we were doing about 98% of our business face-to-face. What's happened now is, of course, everybody had gone from face-to-face to virtual stuff. And it's something we've seen people ask for over the years. So a continual increase on that side. I think it's a good thing. Most of our agents, once they get through that little week or two of, the general training side to it and getting a little bit more accustomed to it, most of those agents are seeing greater success doing it virtual than they are doing it we're doing it face to face. So it's kind of interesting. Their close rates across the board are up about 3%. That's what we're showing on our side. One other thing I would comment on that really quick is, for those of you that are struggling a little bit, I always take them through a little short blip on that. I go, in the past, you've always you've gotten your keys off your nightstand, gone down to your vehicle, started up your car, you drive through traffic, right? And then you're face to face with your client, and it's sort of business as usual. Well, in today's times, the cool thing about it is it's still business as usual. The only difference, you're going to leave your keys on the nightstand, car in the garage. You're going to go to your keys on your desktop or laptop. You're going to start your new vehicle, which with the keys on your desktop or laptop, which is going to be Zoom in this case, or GoToMeeting, whatever you would like to use. And from there, that's going to take you face to face with your client, just like we are right now. And so a lot of you been on this. I think, just going through that little adaption thing, most of you being in the financial services business, hey, you pick up a new carrier rolls out a new product. They kind of do a video similar to this one. You guys have all been on them before. The only difference, instead of you being the client, now you're going to be the presenter. So pretty easy. I don't know if you have any quick comment on that, Lisa, at all.
Yeah. So a lot of feedback that we've gotten from a lot of our producers, that did things the good old, face-to-face way. And of course, that is the preferred method for any advisor to meet with somebody, so that you can kind of get their facial expression and all that. You can still do that this way. keep in mind, I'm getting a lot of feedback from my agents stating that this is way more convenient for them. They're not driving an hour in their car, going through traffic and all that jazz to go to an appointment that just has to get rescheduled anyway. Wouldn't you rather have that rescheduled before you even get in your car? So, we get a lot of positive feedback. They're changing up their marketing strategies a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit more about how this program works and how you facilitate, appointments on your calendars and things like that. So when you have canceled appointments or, your calendar is opened up a little bit, it's a click of a button to get more appointments and get that week filled up to make it,
One other thing too there, Lisa, and you mentioned this to me a couple days ago. We had another call similar to this, and you made a great point that I forget about once in a while. But the nice thing is, hey, if you're living in Denver, Colorado, you can run the whole state of Colorado. Heck, if you're multi-state licensed, you can run multiple states. So it does really increase your opportunity to be able to really grow your business. The other cool thing about it is you're a little bit less locked down, right? I mean, we could do this, we're running our business right now, not all of it, but we have, because of COVID standards, of course, we are our requests by our governor. We have some of our staff working from home. I go in my office once in a while, but right now I'm working from my house. So, there's a lot of opportunity to be able to, be able to go on a trip somewhere and still be able to do some business, which is kind of nice.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I had a couple good conversations with some of my agents today or yesterday, I should say, with, you know, the fact that they're already licensed in other states. And I'm glad you reminded me on that, Rob, because they're like, well, hold on, I've got a license in Pennsylvania, I've got a license in Florida, I got a license in Vermont, can I do it there too? Absolutely. Utilize those. More and more people and clients out there are preferring these kind of appointments versus face to face because their time is valuable. You know, they're homeschooling or whatever the case is due to the changes that are happening in the world today. And this is just a great solution to fix all of that. So I don't know, Rob, if there's anything else you want to share on the intro, we can keep moving on.
Yep, let's move on for sure.
All right.
You're going to let me go on this. So
I'm
a
gonna
little
let
bit
you
about,
go. Yeah.
yeah, there you go. She usually can't get a word in, just so everybody knows. A little bit about us, what we are, what we do. Like I said, we've got a great partnership going with IAMS. Our program is an appointment setting system, and just to give you guys a little bit of an idea, where we set appointments, what do we do, what's it look like. We create appointments with a few different people. One of the groups is the educators. So think about the K through 12 market. We also do the colleges, universities, community colleges. We do state employees. So think about our cities, city, county, state employees. So think about firemen, policemen, city, county, municipal people. And then we also do the federal employees, and we've started doing a big thing in the VA hospitals. I know Lisa, you and the rest of the team over at IAMS have brought on quite a few people in that federal, VA market. And, basically we set up appointments in all these areas. You guys can pick the areas you want to run. If you said, hey, I only want to run K through 12, our system allows you to be able to go in and pinpoint a school district that you would like to work in an area. If you want to run universities, you can go, hey, I want to run Texas Tech down in Texas, and I want to run the University of Utah in Utah. You can do whatever you want. You can run multiple categories at a time. If you want to add some VA hospitals to it, we can do that. So, Lise, do you have any comments on any of that part at all?
No, I just to be and throw a little more clarification. We get a lot of requests for, I just want, 55 and older, or I just want, um, just the colleges, not part-time folks, or whatever the case may be. And when you go through this process and have a process built in, there's really the system is automated, so there's really no way to cut that down in more specific categories. Am I saying that right, Rob?
Right.
Or
Yeah, you are really,
I just
it's
want to set
what's
the
interesting.
expectations.
Yep, absolutely. And what's interesting about it, I would say in the K through 12 market, for example, the average client is probably in that 40-ish area, 44 area, I think it is. Last time I looked at any of the data on that side, I think it was like 44, 45, right in that area. In most of these people, I'm not saying you couldn't get a new employee that's 22 years or 25 years old, whatever they are when they get out of college anymore. But the vast majority of them, when we reach out to these people, we're setting up this to do a pension retirement review. Well, most people kind of go through life and everybody's a little bit complacent. And so typically most people turn about 40 and they're like, hey, you know what? Yeah, I need to set an appointment up because I need to retire one day. I don't want to work forever. And so typically we see that in that market. The college market's going to be a little older than that, Lisa, as far as an average wise, but it is still possible, hey, you could get a new professor. Like you said, Lisa, hey, you could get I just got off the phone yesterday. Matter of fact, had a great call with one of our clients and called me up, and he only works the K through 12 market. And he said, hey, I want some more lunch ladies. And he's in California. Well, number one, we try and take the part-time people out, but a lot of times the data we have, we don't know whether they are or aren't. And so sometimes you're going to get appointments like that, and this client has become a good friend over the years. He's been with us for probably about 4 years, I'm guessing 4.5 years. And he said to me, he goes, hey, Rob, he goes, send me more lunch ladies. And I go, his name's Lance. And I go, Lance, what's the deal? What's the bottom line story? Because he always has a story. And he said, it's like this, like I said, running appointments in California. He goes, do you know how much a lunch lady makes in California part-time? And I'm like, what, 25 grand a year? And he goes, it's 23,000, whatever, 400. And I said, great. And he goes, my last 2 lunch lady appointments, he goes, I just rolled I can't remember, 1.3, $1.4 million. So he actually went out and helped the lunch lady, answered her questions, but that gave him access to the spouse. And one of the spouses had 900 and I can't remember in his 401k. He ended up rolling it over. And the other one had, 3 or 400 grand, whatever the number is. So, you really don't know, and this business really becomes about, treating everybody like a client, not a customer.
Right.
This isn't one and done. This type of business that you're jumping into, the referral rates in this business extremely high. We have one group that's getting about it's about 3.9, 3.8 appointments, extra appointments that they're creating on their own off of referrals out of each one of our appointments, to give you an idea. So, they really emphasize that, and it's really easy. You guys are in a business where, hey, if you can take care of somebody and you ask whether it's one of our appointments or not, but everybody is an agent, you should be asking that, hey, Lisa, was I able to get everything answered for you and help you out? Yeah, you did great. Thank you so much for, helping me and my husband. Hey, do you have any of your friends, peers, whatever, relatives that you think I could assist with, on helping them so they can meet their financial goals?
Yep.
Absolutely. If you have a piece of paper and a pen ready, I guarantee you they will go blah, 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 and give you the information. So lots
Yep.
of opportunity on that side.
Yep. And I mean, if you think about it, even before utilizing this preset appointment program, when you were out there on the streets making these, finding prospects and doing appointments, I mean, you had no idea what their assets were or whatnot prior to going to that first fact finding appointment. There's nothing different here except for the fact that you don't have to get into your car, waste your gas, and these are already set appointments on your calendar. So time is money, and I'll leave it at that. But we can dig into that on a one-on-one conversation with your marketer or whatnot as well. But in the sake of time, I'd like to get going and move forward here. We'll move on to kind of how the prospects work. Basically, it's an email process. So Rob, I'll let you explain that.
Yeah, absolutely. And what Lisa's really talking about, hey, is how do we create the appointments? What do you guys do on our side, or what do we do on our side to create the appointment for you?
Mhm.
And a few things Lisa makes a great point on, I want to reiterate on. I think a couple of the biggest challenges in the financial services industry are, number one is, usually I hear from agents is meeting. How do I meet a new client? Well, I know Lisa, I've met Lisa, but meeting her is easy. It's how do I get her to push the finances across the table? That's a huge challenge. And we make that really easy. When we set up the appointments, it is all digital, so it could be email, it might be geofencing, pinpoint marketing. We have some different ways of doing stuff out there, but it's typically email. And we would reach out to somebody, a potential, let's just say it's a VA hospital and it's a doctor, or it's a VA hospital and it's a nurse, or an administrator, whatever it is. We would reach out to them and we start talking to them about their pension and retirement. And that's what makes our system a little bit different. Hey, Sally, would you like to know when you can retire? Would you like to know what options are available for income when you retire? Would you like to know how many more years you possibly have to work? That's kind of how we engage the client. What's really different about our system compared to other lead systems or appointment systems you've used is when we actually engage that client responds to us and goes, yeah, I do want to meet with a representative. We're like, great. We'd love to set you up with an expert, in that area. What's different about it from there is we actually make the client create the appointment for the date and the time they want to meet. So it is a little bit different that way. When you go through the registration process, Lisa and the team over at IAMS can help you with any of that. Once if you're really interested, of course, you'll get in touch with those guys and they'll get you up and running. But you'll go through our sign up process. It's going to take you about 10, 15 minutes for the average agent. Pretty easy to do. The system creates a calendar for you, and I know we're going to show the calendar in a little bit here, but you'll pick out the areas you want to run and kind of start from there. Pretty easy on that side.
Yep.
So
This screen is an example of how easy it is with the case information. I mean, it's just going to be, a few boxes that you complete. I'll show you, talk a little bit about, some of the opportunities that we typically see with these appointments. You're going to see, especially with the categories and such, depending on what you choose. But a lot of the teachers and such are going to be like the 403B, 457, employee type space where you have an opportunity to maybe roll those into another one. We can help you get 403B certified as well, so that you have access to be able to run that business, that aspect of the business. We have agents that sometimes just don't want anything to do with the 403B because there's not enough money in it for them. So I've got agents that have been doing this for years that's never touched the 403B. If it's a 403B, they just send them right back to their administrator and let that handle, and that's a future client. The other opportunities is you're going to see a lot of different rollovers from old 401ks. Rob gave us a example of that earlier about the lunch lady, and husband had 900 and some thousand that they needed to roll over from an old 401k. So that's not a bad payday. Obviously, you're going to have other annuity opportunities. Um, they're approaching retirement, so maybe they're looking for that permanent income stream. Maybe they need that tax-free bucket, tax-free income. So maybe we're going to be looking at an IUL. So those are the type of sales that we're going to see in this program. And we're seeing about, if you're working it right, would you agree 33% conversion?
yeah, we see a little bit higher across the board, but typically, I would say to manage expectations, yes. You know,
Yep.
there's agents out there that we've had for years and years and years closing at 80, 75, 80%. It happens. I mean, and then there's agents out there closing at 20%. So, I don't know, when agents ask me that, I always go, are you a closer or not a closer? But I think
Right.
Lisa makes a great
Yep.
point on what goes on. And really, when you go on these appointments, you're just opening Pandora's box. And what's in Pandora's box? Show them the shortfall. One of the numbers that I think is really important is 91 to 92% of the people that participate in any type of pension have no idea what they're going to retire with. And
Yeah.
so You know, typically that's what gives you the big opportunity. The other thing I would say to all of you listening in on this is, how many of you out there that are agents have, a policeman, a fireman, a school teacher, professor, whatever it is, that's a current client of yours? And I would ask you the question, this is, how many of you have ever done a pension review for them? And it's probably less than 1% of you. Well, for you as an agent going out on an appointment, it gives you a huge opportunity. And, one of the other biggest issues I see, or challenges, is not really an issue, it's just a challenge, is, hey, everybody I run into, I hear this from agents all the time, everybody I run into that's got a job and has some money has a financial planner already. How do I get around it? Well, the nice thing is, it's sort of like Lisa just went over with you guys, is this gives you an opportunity to be able to walk into one of these appointments and go, hey, Sally, you think you're going to retire with 80 grand a year because that's what she told you. And she said she had a financial advisor. And you're like, hey, well, Sally, did your financial advisor not go over this with you? Well, no, why? Well, can you retire on 42 grand a year instead of 80 grand a year? No, why? Well, let me show you how it's calculated. So nobody's even helped him in that respect. I know quite a few agents out there who have gone in, life licensed, only been in the business for 2 years, and they're taking securities licensed clients that have been with them for 10, 15 years away, because most people have an advisor for what? To advise you how to retire. I mean, that's typically why you have an advisor. That's why you create a savings. That's why we all go to work, right? And so, hey, one day I want to retire on the beach. You don't want to retire being the Walmart greeter, right? Well,
Right.
and if another advisor isn't filling in, telling them about the gap, they're totally unaware of it. That's where the opening is, and that's what Lisa was just talking about.
Yep. So there's a lot of opportunity here, as you can see. Um, I'm going to briefly show you the calendar. And Rob, can you kind of go over the calendar and how this works,
Absolutely.
and and
Absolutely.
really emphasize
So,
on calendar management?
yeah. So a couple things is this, the system sets up when you go in and register. Like I said, the people at IAMS will get you all registered in the system, and or have us reach out to you and we'll get you registered. Pretty easy process. One of the things the system will create is a calendar, and this is our calendar. For those of you asking the question, hey, will your calendar sync with the current calendar I have? If you're using Google Calendars, yes, it will. So if you're using Outlook, there's a way to do it, a little bit harder to do. But essentially, the cool thing about our system is, you know, again, association with IAMS, you got the backup to help you. You guys are getting VIP treatment, VIP prices. IAMS is taking care of a lot of stuff, but there's no minimums, no maximums. So what you see here in green, everything you see in green is an appointment. Our system can set an appointment on a 60-minute basis. So if you're wide open during a day, if there's a 10:30 appointment, the next available appointment could be 11:30. You can get as many as you'd like or as few as you'd like. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But just so you guys have a general overview of our system, we run from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday automatically. So when you opt in, that's a kind of standardized setup. An agent can opt in for Saturday and or Sunday independently. This agent here is not opted in for Saturday or Sundays. But the cool thing about our system is, we don't have a fight in the game. So you go, hey, I want to work on Fridays. Good for you. Block your calendar out. So we're just looking for openings on your calendar. This agent is taking about, I'm just glancing, estimating 12, 13, 14 appointments a week. That's too many to start out with, for sure. We suggest, start out slow. You can build it up. And I mean, to give you an idea, for those of you out there who have, gone on other appointment systems and said, hey, I paid this one company $3,000 and they were charging me $500 an appointment, and they only got me 3 appointments over the last 4 months. Our system's not that way. And Lisa will reiterate on this, I'm sure. But, if you leave your calendar wide open, we can put 8 appointments on there a day in most cases. So keep that in mind. Our suggestion, hey, start out slow, slow and steady wins the race kind of deal. Start out slow, block your calendar out. And then, start to learn the process a little bit more. If you've done appointment setting things before like this, and you want to just flip the switch and leave it wide open, no problem, leave it wide open. But, my suggestion is start out slow, maybe leave your calendar open a couple days a week from, 9 a.m. until maybe 2 o'clock, something like that. I don't know, Lisa, what are you telling the agents on your side?
Absolutely. I don't, I voice out to them that, my honest opinion. And, I've got agents that have had a process like this already in place and been working that same process for 15 years. And I still tell them, hey, you need to start out slow because you're intertwining this with your current business as well. That example is, you know, that agent isn't able to get to his second appointments now because he's, they're, and I run into that a lot, and this system is not going to do you any good or us any good if you're not able to close the business. And you can't close the business if you don't have that second appointment. So I would rather
Absolutely.
be successful and, maybe start out slow and then build onto that. Um, I would say that's the best advice that we could give you when it comes to this. And then eventually you will be slam dunking 14 appointments a week if that's where your business plan leads
Yep.
you to.
And I
But
would I would say something on that too, Lise. Every one of you people are different. Some of you, and one thing I do want to reiterate on with that Lisa just said, hey, you're in this business, you're already successful. You got to bring this in as another revenue stream. And the
mhm,
way our system was designed, like I said, you're blocking out times you do not want appointments. We're just trying to fill you in when you have your gaps, when you're not busy, right? That's what we're trying to do. Um, you know, we have that issue once in a while where I'll reach out to an agent. I'll go, hey, Lisa, how's it going on? These appointments are amazing, man. Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, well, have you closed and written any business yet? No. Why? And she goes, but the appointments are great. And I go, yeah, but you're getting behind. And so this business isn't the final expense business. This isn't the one and done. Like I said, these are going to be clients, not customers. So
right.
most of these are going to be 2 appointment closers. Lisa makes a great point. I have a couple agents I know really, really well that, hey, they leave their calendar open Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They block it off completely on Friday, Saturday, Monday. Well, Friday, Saturday, Monday is when they set second appointments, and that's when they write their business. But you don't want to get behind. I mean, once in a while we see it on our side. We'll have a client reach back out to us and go, hey, this Lisa girl got all my information, and she said she'd get back to me, and it's been 2 weeks now, and she said she'd get back to me last week. Did I just get scammed? Right? And so you're not doing yourself any good. You're not doing the client any good. You're not benefiting anybody, and so the thing is, we want you to be successful on this. My goal is not to shove, 10 appointments down your throat every day for 2 weeks and then you go, hey, I can't do this anymore. Our goal is for you to get a slow and steady, consistent thing. This is a great way to get your pipeline filled up. If you've got some agents below you, if you've got an agency, another good training vehicle. Hey, get your people involved, get them active. I mean, owning an agency is easy. You can keep yourself busy. The challenge is, how do you keep your other agents busy? Here's a vehicle where you can do that, get their
Right.
pipelines full, get some revenue coming in, and then it's win, win, win across the board.
Yep, you got it. There's a lot of different opportunities to look at this kind of a preset appointment, and I'm glad you reminded me on, agents, if you're working to build an agency. I was an agent green one time in my life, and, I would have loved to have a program like this to just, practice on the fact finding, practice on, because the more you do something, the better you get, the more confidence you have. So this is great for somebody that's green coming into the business as well. Um, what else do we need to talk about, Rob? Let's talk about the pricing, and I want to go a little bit into the university as well.
Great. A couple things, excuse me. A couple things, like I said, reiterating back to IAMS, we've got clients all across the country. We do business in every state in the country. I know some of you are going to ask, hey, are there any areas that are a little bit of a challenge? the people at IAMS can answer those questions for you. But in general, no, we're pretty well, do business anywhere you want to do business. And IAMS came to me, Lisa and their leadership group, the rest of them, had reached out and said, hey, we want to put something special together. We want to be in on this deal. And so, IAMS is taking care of a lot of stuff for you as an agent. The registration fee, IAMS is taking care of. Your monthly access fee, IAMS is taking care of. Typically, our appointments are $100 an appointment, $99 an appointment or more. IAMS is getting you guys a discount. It's 36%, right? Got you knocked down to, $64 an appointment. So it's a great opportunity to stay busy. Like I said, no contract. That was another thing. They said, hey, we don't want our guys to have a contract, So the nice thing that I love about IAMS is, and this isn't just about being on this phone call either, is these guys actually care about what you're doing. And I mean, I hear it all the time in the financial services industry. My upline never does anything for me. These guys are going to bat for you, and they want you to succeed. They are part of your team, and if you play on the football team, it's like you're the quarterback. You can't hike the ball to yourself, right? We need the team to make the thing function and to be winners. And that's what basically happens here. So lots of opportunity on that side. The other thing that's really important for us in IAMS is, both of us groups, in this partnership, we had talked about, hey, we don't want the agent to get distracted, right? We want the agent to be focused on getting out there and helping people, selling product, making a good living, and at the same time, like I said, helping the potential clients. And part of the problem in the past with a lot of lead sources or even appointment sources is, they turn around to you and go, hey, give me $5,000. Well, number one, sometimes we can't drum up $5,000, to pay for a lead system, right? And the other thing about it is it distracts you, because if you give me $5,000 tomorrow, now we got to keep track of it, right? Now I have to keep track of it and you have to keep track of it. Well, I just took you out of your lane. We want you to be focused on selling what's going on. So, with this association with IAMS, basically when you go through that sign up process, what you're going to do is you're going to enter a credit card in the back office. We're going to bill you on the day of the appointment, not the day we created it. We might create an appointment created today, might be for next Tuesday, for example, or next Wednesday or Thursday, depending on what day you're watching this video, right? Could be a week out is my point. Well, we don't bill you right then. We do all the confirming on the appointment. We're going to reach out to the client. If that appointment's sitting on your calendar and that client cancels 24 hours prior to the appointment, we'll take it off your calendar. You won't be billed for it, but we actually bill on the day of the appointment. So the cool thing about this is it gives you a huge opportunity to get your pipeline full. I mean, one of the biggest challenges in the financial services industry, it's like home run, strikeout, home run, strikeout. I'm rich, I'm poor, I'm rich, I'm poor. This is a good opportunity, like Lisa said previously, is to get your pipeline full, get a little flow of business coming in, get some cash coming in your pocket, and we're not going to charge you $1 up front. So, Lisa, I don't know, do you have something to comment on that about?
No, I think you covered it all. I mean, it's, this is a extremely cheap discounted rate. I don't want to say cheap because it's not cheap. These are actual appointments that are on your calendar, and it's only $64. So you don't have any contracts, you don't have any, anything else to worry about. Give it a shot. If it's not working for you, if this isn't your cup of tea, then we look for something else. You talk to your marketing director at IAMS and we try to find something else that will work for you. We've got a lot of interest in this. I just did a webinar with Rob earlier this week on it, and there's a ton of folks that are signing up and interested, and we're creating zones and territories for them. So a lot of exciting things happening. So we're always excited to partner with Rob and thank him so much for giving us the opportunity to give this kind of service to our producers. The only other thing I really want to make sure that we cover is some of the training and tools that we provide our producers for this. We first started this this program with Rob, and we were getting a lot of questions like, how do I do this virtually? How do I get my video cam set up? What kind of equipment do I need? People that have just done nothing but face-to-face meetings, and this whole virtual reality, virtual, um, sessions is all new to you. That's fine. We can help you with that. We've got digital tools. We can help you with getting with our IT guys, and they can help develop Facebook stuff for you, for pages, LinkedIn. Um, Maybe it's a new logo that you need to work on. We can help you literally from A to Z here at IAMS. We like to be that one-stop shop. With that in mind, we've gone to Rob with other challenges that, and questions that people have on these preset appointments. How do I make this process work? So Rob came back to us with a solution, and we came up with this university that he's got a gentleman that he works with that's been on over 700.
Yeah, he's been on. He has been on over seven or 800 appointments himself, and his group's been on a few thousand. I think he's been a client of ours for about 5 years now. 4 years.
Yeah.
4 years. It would be 4 years now.
So what
So,
I tell my
um,
agents is this pair university, instead of you paying $64 a lead and you making mistakes as you go along, like we all have to do when we learn, this guy's made all the mistakes for you. So all you have to do is follow his process and, let him, come up with, the mistakes that's been made. She'll tell you what they've done, and you've got access to actual um, recordings. You've got access to a Q&A twice a week that's live, and you guys, talk to other agents that are doing the same thing you're doing out there, and challenges that you're running into. Being a part of a group with other professionals is always a good idea. Um,
the
and you'll have
opportunity on
access
it
to
is,
all that.
yeah, the opportunity on it's huge. And I think, I'll reiterate, I haven't watched the entire thing, Lisa, just so you know, but it is a third party to both, us and
Mhm.
IAMS, just so you know. But it was a client of mine that had, in the past had always helped clients. So I'd have an agent once in a while call me and go, "Hey, do you have an agent I can talk to instead?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." Well, this guy was nice enough at the time to be able to, you know, take the not ask for an override, not ask for an app split or anything else. And he spent a lot of time doing it. Well, over the years, as he had been training his team, he was kind of like, "Hey, I'm kind of created this para university. Do you mind if I reach out to your clients?" And I'm like, "Well, you can't reach out to them," but I said, "I'll do you a favor and reach out to them for you." So, I set him up with like IAMS and reached out to our other clients and just said, "Hey, if you want some more training that's really in depth, I think Lisa and I can't remember, there's either like 17 or 22 modules in his back office. Um,
Yeah.
it's something he charges $99 a month for. You guys can see that on screen. But the cool thing is, if you want to be on it for 1 month, can you get all the information off there? Absolutely. But if you want to continue on, like Lisa said, he's got a call twice a week. They're live. You can ask any questions you want, and you have direct access to this guy. So for a lot of agents, it's been a little bit of a good helping handle to be able to get up and running a little bit faster.
Hmm.
One thing I want to back up about that Lisa said that was really important, I think, in today's times, and this doesn't have anything to do with our appointment setting system, but with everything being virtual now, the cool things about IAMS, they got these great production studios. They can build you these beautiful websites and some of the other stuff. In the past, it's like, other groups are always like, "Yeah, well, we had your website, well, was it really needed?" It's needed a little bit today. I'm going to tell you, it's more important than ever. And the reason is it gives you that credibility because, now our world's turning virtual, right? And what Lisa and I started this phone call out about being virtual. And you know, what's interesting on that side of it is we've seen the request year after year after year for clients going, "Hey, I want to meet virtual. I want to meet virtual. I want to meet virtual." That standards become higher and higher and higher. Well, for you to be legit, they want to be able to go in and look at your website. "Oh, hey, I'm going to look up this Lisa. Wow, look at all this other stuff she does, man. This person's an expert." I mean, these people, you're taking people's, you're taking charge of their finances. I mean, it doesn't get any more personal than that, you know?
Yeah.
And so they want to make sure they are with somebody that's credible. So lots of opportunity dealing with IAMS. They've got a lot of professional. I mean, we're an IT company. I've met a lot of their IT people. They're a professional group that way, and being able to help you get set up for some of those standards so your websites are up to par and look good. So I know I got off the Para University a little bit, but I wanted to make that comment because I think it is really important. On the Para University thing, like I said, third party to us, it's $99 a month. Some agents are on there for a month. Some agents are on there for 3-4 months at a whack, and it's all up to you.
Right.
But it does give you some outside great training ability.
Yep. And we wouldn't recommend it. Like I said, we don't make a dime on any of these things. We don't make a dime on, obviously we're paying out the dime on the leads. But we're only going to recommend things that are going to be useful. And
Appointments.
Yeah, appointments. We're only going to recommend, things, and we go after whatever useful tools that are going to be helping. That's what IAMS does. I mean, we find solutions to problems. So you'll see that working with us, and for those of you that are already working with us, that's how we roll. So, Rob, I think we've covered pretty much everything. I want to thank you for your time being on here with us.
I was going to say one thing, everybody. Hey, how do I sign up? What do I need to do? It's right there in front of you. Get in touch with Lisa and the team over there. They'll be able to assist you in any way. And then, myself or our VP of Preferred Accounts, Casey, would be in contact with them. So.
Yep. So just a couple of things, guys. I have my contact information here, the 800 number. If you're already working with one of the directors here, reach out to that person, or just call and ask for an annuity marketer or a life marketer or anyone on the marketing side, and they'll be more than happy to get you started. Depends on where you're at. Obviously, you would need to be contracted with IAMS, so that would be step number one. Step number two is, we get you registered with this program with Rob, and start those preset appointments on your calendar, and that can take anywhere from 3 to 4 days, right? I mean, usually it doesn't take more than 4 days, right?
Typically, it's about 3 days. When you're ready to roll and you tell us to flip the switch on our side, it's usually about 3 days before you see your first appointment.
Exactly.
So the earliest we'll deliver an appointment's 24 hours out. You guys are going to have more questions. Reach out to the team in IAMS. They're all very well trained about how our system works.
Yep. I'd be happy to answer all those for you. So I think we've covered pretty much most of what we can. Like you said, there's going to be other questions. Don't hesitate to reach out, email, whatever, and we'll get those answered for you. Rob, as always, it's a pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Absolutely.
And everybody else.
We will
be
in touch soon.
Yes, we will.
We will be in touch soon.
Yes, we will. Everybody else, take care. Stay safe out there, and thanks for stopping by.